Welcome back. It's Spencer and it is Sasha. Sasha will eat you. She will devour you. If you mean me harm, she will destroy you. That's the truth. And if anybody means her harm, I will destroy them too. It's a big dog. Sometimes the angle you can't see, but I think from this angle you can see my big baby. She's not just a big old sleepy baby. Oh man, she's vicious. Everybody, I have to apologize every day, and I do apologize every day to some people who she foams at the mouth, barks at the fence line. I apologize, say I'm sorry, but when we get back in, I say, "That's a good girl. You did your job. Yes, you did. Yes, you did." But I say, "Come on, girl. I'm sorry. Golly gee whiz. You know, they don't know I'm a felon who used to kidnap people who did dope rip-offs. But anyway, so this whole prison genre, it's in a sad state right now. I would reckon so. Too much talk, not enough action. Too many people talking shit, but everybody afraid they gonna get bit. You know, it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. You got people that are, at what age are you too old to be a gangster? Okay, now, trick question. Back in when gangsters were actually gangsters, you didn't become a gangster until you were old. Because you'd been to prison a couple times, you've been tested, you've been tried. They knew your family, they knew your name. So that's how you got made a gangster, a literal gangster. But nowadays, it's getting all these ABCs tattooed all over you. I still wear the jewelry now. I'm going to wear that. Yeah, but I ain't going to get no ABCs tattooed on my face. Or any of that shit. That's just, man, that's, Lord have mercy. If you live to be 70, man, oh Lord, I can only imagine. If this generation is this bad, imagine the next generation. You got somebody with ABCs tattooed all over his face. They're going to clown that son of a bitch whenever, if they make it to be 60, 70. The next generation, it's only getting worse. I mean, it's only getting worse. It's only getting more fucked up. They're going to clown the hell out of that son of a bitch, okay? If somebody gets them ABCs and all this shit, I can't imagine. Sometimes it's cool. Oh, Pop's got a little flavor. No. Shit ain't cool. After a certain, after you hit a certain age, you grow the hell up. And, I got respect for people that really are, because I know people that really are a part of some, for real, organizations that are really doing some real shit. Okay? A lot of what I see today is it's all for show. It's all for show. It's cool to be it was cool to be a Crip because Snoop Dogg was a Crip, but now it's cool to be a Blood because I don't listen to enough of this new age shit, but The Game, Lil Wayne, I guess they was Blood, Birdman, they're Bloods. So it's cool because they're Bloods. And then you got people that ain't even officiated. They're just starting up their own sets. Okay? I know gang members. Real ones. Ones that will never brag about the shit they've done. Okay? Because, what are you going to do? Arrest me? Shit. Put arrest me sign right in your forehead. See, I'm allowed to wear jewelry. Got family in the jewelry business. Got kicked out at the age of 15. Was a homeless drug dealer from then on. But I was allowed to have jewelry. Because everybody assumed if anybody, if I got questioned, I just mentioned that. Didn't mention, good many nights I was sleeping in my car at Walmart. And then, everything else. I'll tell you, Mom did still give good deals to people, though. She just wouldn't let me live in the house, and she wouldn't support that shit. She would not. Not one bit. And that's how I ended up driving for the biggest heroin dealer in my city. I thought I was one of the dudes, you know. 16-year-old hanging out with a bunch of 30-year-olds. Shit. I wasn't cool. I was a fucking dork. They used my ass. Yeah. I was good. I was good with the words if I got pulled over. His brother found that out. So, you know, he realized shit, he can get the shit back. If he gets pulled over, he can play this shit off. He's going to make them think, oh, golly gee whiz, my mom will kill me if I get a ticket. And make it all about the ticket so they're not worried about, what have you got in the car? Why are your hands shaking? As much as I have, like, nervous tics, you know, as much as I'm like, something like, get me like this, whenever I got pulled over and I had a load in the car, some way, somehow, still, as a board, I don't know how that works. I don't know how to explain it. I got kicks out of it, I think. It's like, it's unbelievable. But anyway, different people, different associations and shit. You know, through prison, because I actually am myself. I don't try to use this new age lingo. There's this guy, and I'm going to call him by name because he's a goofy ass, and he told on me, and he apologized for telling on me for what I didn't do because they told him they were going to send him to prison. He goes by Lil John, dork, who just keeps telling on people, so they keep letting him out. Told on me for something I didn't do, and he apologized to me for it. You know, I have witnesses for that. I'm going to try to get a pardon for my shit eventually. There are two people that were a major part of my shit that are two of my good friends that I have not talked to in a couple of years, and I feel really bad for that. But I've lived as a hermit for the last 5 years, just training judo, jiu-jitsu, and boxing, and Muay Thai and kickboxing a good bit too. I quit talking to everybody about 3 years ago. There was a situation where I'm pretty sure I was followed by the CIA. I caught them following me. I got behind them. It was definitely a government vehicle, and series of events with probation and shit after that made me just clam the hell up. So all I did was train and go home. Now I ain't getting my ass. I'm not going back to prison. Shit. Casey's the cutest little thing ever. My little fiance up there, she's my high school crush. I'm gonna go around prison, be around smelly balls all day long. I'm a straight dude. I don't do peanut butter. God bless you if you do. You know, ain't no hate to you or any of that. But I mean, all I got in there is a rotation of whatever dirty magazines they got on deck. It wouldn't be as bad because back in my early 20s, oh God, you know, the wind blows and it's like, you know, Lord have mercy. But what I couldn't understand was those dumb sons of bitches sitting in the TV room lusting after moms on Dance Moms and shit like that. That's stupid. But anyhow, back to this new prison shit. The two guys who are out now, both of them have robbed pharmacies. These guys have done some real shit too. These guys have both driven, you know, the length of the East Coast, taking dope back and forth. The biggest heroin dealer to get caught. The one I drove for never got caught. He got robbed, so he ended up a common crackhead. But my buddy Alex, I'm gonna call him. I ain't talked to him in a few years. I just ignored everybody. I shut everybody, and I feel like a dick for that. But it's what I had to do. It's what I had to do. Him and Rusty, they got big as a son of a bitch. Like, what the fuck is bullshit? I'm as strong as they are in terms of lifts. But what the fuck? Stand next to them, shit. Rusty's 6'2", 220 pounds. Alex, he's 6 foot tall, 210 pounds. My ass. I'm a little chubby right now at 178 fucking pounds. I mean, you know, I could deadlift 565 at 172 pounds body weight. But man, come on now, it's some bullshit. We all got strong, but they got big. And I got the shit end of that stick. It's kind of like my little mutt dog. You know, he got the shit end of the stick. He got a little white pecker, and he got big old black balls. I swear to God, he's white and black dog. And then we cut his big old black balls off. We got him neutered. Yeah, didn't fix nothing though. Every time she's in heat, you'll know. You'll hear it in the background shit. But in this prison shit, there are two people I'm gonna get in on this, and also Steve. Peg Leg Steve, who did 40 years in, or who did 25 years in prison, but he got 40 years. I found out today. I'll tell that in different. Never mind. But Alex and Rusty, both robbed pharmacies, both done shit. You know, these so-called gangsters and shit. All the shit that I told on here, these two guys were there. And the night that I got set up for my shit, Rusty was living with me. Alex was by the apartment that night. The mother of his children, who they might not be getting along, but she'd still speak up and she'd still say what happened. That's 3 people right there who can tell you what the hell happened. I didn't do that shit. I just say it. I just admit it by now. I'd be like, shit. I feel awful. But that's not what happened. And I might end up losing my life over it, because there's a crooked ass DEA agent, stretched his little tiny boner out as long as it could stretch over wanting to get me as many years as he could. He told Brian Goebel got his life, I say, because Brian Goebel gave him the interview and told him he did not do that. How much time is he going to get? He'll get about 12 years, we believe. Man, they gave me 8 years. They asked 15. My lawyer asked for 0. I did so perfect. And I'm a good speaker in public, believe it or not. And I spoke really well, and I spoke genuinely too. And the judge said 0, 15, 8, but he counted the year of jail credit, so really 7. Actually, 6 years, 11 months. It's 13 months. And then he counted the 7 weeks I did in jail during drug court. So that actually took it down to 6 years, 9 months. I ended up only doing 5 years in federal prison. And that agent went around telling witnesses in my case, he's not allowed to do that shit. What else is he not allowed to do? Drive people to and from the federal building without their lawyer and talk to them. He picked me up without my lawyer and transported me to every hearing. And he told me the whole way, I'm going to speak up and let them know, you're a danger, you don't need to get out. Nobody had a problem with getting out. The United States Attorney, the pretrial officer, when the judge found out why I was there, the judge looked at the U.S. Attorney and said, why is he here? Never mind, don't answer that. My bond hearing lasted an hour and a half. You remember Tommy Boy when he says, I feel like driving my car through a goddamn bridge embankment? And he pulled his hair up and it was all crazy. The judge did that. His hair was like this. I look back at my Aunt Pam, my mom, and they're looking at each other like, what the fuck is wrong with him? He gave me bond. Gave me some messed up conditions. I had to get drug tested every day of the week. Now, the federal building, they said, we ain't open on the weekends, so he's going to have to deal with that. You'll get drug tested Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's all we can do for him. But I also had to get drug tested at drug court. So I had to go take a drug test, stand in a 45-minute line, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Chug a Gatorade. 30 minutes later, I had to go pee at the federal building. I had to pee at the state building and the federal building Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I had to pee twice in a 30-minute period. That's how foolish that was. And by the way, when you get a drug charge in the state, they take your license. So they took my license. I have to rely on people. Shit. Lord have mercy. I keep diverting. But anyway, it's a sad state. Just fight people. Just fight people. Just go ahead and fight somebody. You got a problem, go ahead and fight them. I brought up, Alex and Rusty because I'm going to bring them in, get them started on this. They got some stories. Oh my God. The day before I went to prison, there's a story you won't believe. You won't believe that something so fucking epically crazy could happen 24 hours before I went to prison. I had no knowledge of it. And I had to tell Rusty to get his ass on. Shit. Showed up at my fucking place. I didn't ask questions. I didn't know for sure. But I had a good feeling where he got these grocery bags full of GNC sized bottles of shit. Like, what the fuck? And I grabbed his face and I said, what did you do? And he looked at me and he said, you always tell me what to do. You always tell. He was high. Lord have mercy. That was 24 hours before I went to prison. Yeah. There's more shit about my life that I've kept silent, that I've kept hidden, that I've kept behind the scenes because, you know, certain people, I want to talk to them before I bring certain shit up first off. But second off, you know, some shit's got to expire, you know. You know what I'm saying? But these two guys are solid. These two big old dudes. I'm going to train them to fight. You know, them, along with a couple other people. Vegas Prison Stories Rick, that's a good dude. That's become one of my best friends. I can't believe I've made a genuine best friend on YouTube. Lance, off the yard, he's become a friend. He's a great guy. Genuine. He's crazy like me, you know what I mean? He's, hey, you know, that's just him. And, you know, but, shoot, Virginia's going to have a solid little bunch of people. You know, it's going to be like Wu-Tang Clan, ain't going to be nothing to fuck with. Shit, why nobody call my ass out? Shit. I've been wanting to smack somebody up. I did a couple months ago. Got a call from a woman. Her husband, he wasn't leaving. I stood there for about 3 hours patiently. And then I giggled, put my arm around and said, okay, buddy, I got shit to do. I can't be here all damn evening, and you're not saying, so let's go. Swung on my ass, left his ass leaking. And I did a video, one of my workout videos. I did it when I got back home. You could tell I was in kind of a state of frustration to not notice. There's blood on my neck, blood on my hands. I felt better the next day though. And you know, I would never hurt somebody that didn't deserve it, or anybody innocent. You know, that's something that's hugely against my morals and everything else. But people who mess with women, kids, and just bullies in general, that's why I learned to fight. I'm kind of just a big ass dork. My biggest weapon was my brain until I started learning how to fight. I learned to fight so I didn't have to listen to shit. You know, be damned. Somebody fucks with me. And I'm not a tough guy at all. I'm not a natural at it. Far from a natural. I'm goofy and awkward as hell. But I put the time in it. Something a lot of these other gangsters don't have the discipline to do. They ain't gonna sit there, go to class every day, learn this shit. So guess what? When it comes time, you know, to see, oh, I got hands. Well, we're gonna find out. You're gonna have to show me. And you know, you might have hands, but you know, there's no ref to separate us. So once I get my arms around you, I might be, you know, smaller bones, smaller in weight, but I'm going to take somebody's soul. And there's a moment when they break, this gasp that lets out and this look in the eyes. And that's why I do all the extra shit. That moment. It's kind of like, you know, it's a messed up reference, but 9 Inch Nails had this messed up bunch of videos. And gave up about a serial killer. He you know, tried not to be, and then he just gave into it, and it's just basically it was his nature. Now, I'm not a bad person who'd ever hurt anybody innocent ever in my life. That's not me. But I used to have a saying, you know, it's kind of ignorant. I've calmed down a lot, but it used to be, people say, let God handle it. I say, well, if God doesn't handle it by such and such date, then he's telling me to handle it. So I'm God's tool. And I really thought myself like that. And I've calmed down. I promised I wasn't going to do that shit anymore. But you know, there's some people, you know, they don't just get to do their time and that be the end of it. There's some people that certain stuff and everything else, and it just does not register for me that they are one with the world again. You know, that don't work for me. But the biggest thing that kills my ass is you used to have gangsters, but now you've got gangsters. Gangsters. Okay? And 90% of the gangsters aren't gangsters. Okay? It's perpetrating a fraud. Half of them aren't legitimate. It's sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs. They get legitimized after the fact. They'll call themselves something they saw on Gangland. You know, what the hell? Come on, man. Shit. You know. And, you know, I do respect, I know some people that are in it, and I respect them. But, you know, man, I don't need a gang. Don't want a gang. Don't want anybody to tell me what to do. That's why I learned to fight. I don't like people telling me what to do. You know, be a one-man gang. Shit. You know, fuck with me. Some shit in this genre has just gone on recently. It's just made steam come out of my ears. I've sat here quietly for the majority of it. So many people perpetrating a fraud. So many people, other people using people. I'll tell you one person, you know, there's somebody I can think of. He's a really nice guy up in Canada. And that poor fella, man, he got used. Feel bad for him. But, you know, it's a sad state that this genre, to be so early in this genre, that it's this pathetic already. That you got people that are so damn scared to get in a damn fist fight. Or making excuses, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's got to be here, got to be there. Got to get me paid. Can't be him, blah, 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 this, that. You know, that's not gangster. Gangster is, you know, show up, do the damn thing, and that be the end of it. And, you know, if I were to do an event, which looked like it might have been happening for a little bit of time, there wouldn't be no foul shit at my event. And I was planning on trying to make something happen, but, you know, certain things with certain people's lives, I respect. Certain things do require more attention than a bullshit on YouTube. I do get that. But also, you got people just backing out, and then when the other person backs out, they're like, they're a bitch. I knew they was a bitch. And shit, you backed out first, and you know, it's that type of stuff and everything else like that. I'll tell you, I told, there are two people I have an issue with, in particular that I can think of, with Rick, with just Rick. You know, it's a good dude. He's done more to help people than anybody will have a clue. He has built channels bigger than his own, that if he had put the same amount of time in his own channel, he'd be past us all right now. He has got an incredible talent at editing, and he's given up his time to help his friends. And to be met back with, you know, degenerate shitheads, you know, oh Lord. That's why I got along with the old timers in prison, you know, like Clarence Eugene Robinson. That's a real gangster. Shit. Look him up. 2 FBI agents. They lived. Then he got out, got another 25 years. Allegedly, there was a police officer who isn't with us anymore. And the 2 informants only did 2 years in prison, during which time he was on the run. When they got out after 2 years, he'd been on the run that whole time. They disappeared. Well, they didn't disappear. They had somebody walk up to them wearing a funny disguise matching his height and weight that ended them, and that ended the case. And he never drank, never smoked a day in his life. Professional boxer. Incredible. That's a real gangster right there. That's a legend right there. Pinto. Big old baby faced fat motherfucker. That's my best friend right there. Pinto, that's a gangster. Did a year-long undercover DEA operation on him. Had ties with the Philadelphia Mafia. I mean, shit, that was a gangster. Had police officers hitting off the competition. Now, how high up you have to be to get some shit like that to happen? That's a gangster. Now, if you say you're a damn gangster, and you say it regularly, chances are you ain't a damn gangster. That's the number one thing. And if you spell gangster with an A on the end, Lord have mercy. That's just sad. That's all I got to say about that. It's driven me pretty crazy. I've kept quiet. Even in lives, I'm sitting there just thinking, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But then shit just gets so absurd and so ridiculous, it's embarrassing. So, you got guys like, including Rick in this, he's from Florida. He might as well be from Virginia, though. He's hanging with the rest of us. Now, Lance, Mark, I believe he's the guy who did 20 in prison that Lance lived with, I believe. Alex and Rusty, shit, I'm going to have crew guys here. And I'm actually about it. That any of us, Lance, he's got some family stuff he's dealing with right now. And, that's not my business to speak on. There's some issues outside of himself that are going on with his ex and an abusive person she's getting away from right now. And his son's with his ex. So, I mean, that takes precedence. That gets accepted. My point is this: when this shit gets roped up, I'd say in the next couple months, there won't be a person in this little crew, this little bunch I got, that you can say, I'll whoop your ass. And they'll give you some runaround. Give you some excuse. Some bullshit. Okay? Now, I'm telling you, hopefully this will bring back some semblance, some righteousness to this shit. And keep it from going in the direction that it's in. Because right now, this shit is pathetic. I mean, come on. This shit is getting so damn pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's almost embarrassing to be a part of this shit. And yeah, I know, I don't talk hard. I talk country and, all this other shit. But, watch. If you've been in prison, the shot callers seem like corny dads or corny uncles. They tell corny dad jokes and corny uncle jokes from a different era. They don't use none of this new age slang and shit. And if some of the youngins use it around, they're like, hey, listen, man, don't do that. That shit's embarrassing. We don't do that. Don't do that. And they'll go do it with their little flunky friends. But around the OGs, they'll have to learn to curb that shit. If they're really a part of something, if it's real. That's the thing. Oh my God, I can't even speak on this shit. It's just gotten so out of hand. So many different organizations, I feel privileged to have met some of the higher-ups in them, and I do not condone that shit. If you're a kid, do not fucking join a gang. It's stupid. But I do respect certain gangs, and I've got some friends that are in them, and I respect them for what they do, and I respect them for the commitment that they have made. And I do. I respect that. But if you're a kid, don't get involved in that shit, because it's one of them things that once you get involved in, that's what it is. Okay? I think the reason I didn't turn out, be Rad Jeezy or something, I could have never turned out like that. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. I couldn't have done it. Couldn't have done it. I'll wear some gold. I'll wear a whole bunch of diamonds and shit. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to, be wearing... Yeah, I can't do all the other shit. I hung around bikers. I hung around people that owned clubs that were and restaurants that were doing the damn thing. Didn't hang around, you know, run around bullshit boys in a non, you know, in a non-valid gang that they probably came up after they watched Gangland. I didn't hang around people like that. Didn't hang around people like that. You know, nah. The bikers, the other people, I never had to worry about taking any form of weapon to any meeting with any of these people. You know why? If I did, I shouldn't have been doing business with them. That was my motto, it was my method, and that was after a guy who I met that was a counselor that got caught with 50 kilos on a plane back from Peru, and his name was Mark. Old white man with the cane, big white man with the cane. He quit selling dope for 2 or 3 years. He ended up getting 8 years in federal prison. He quit selling it. But he said that if I ever had to take a weapon, why would I be dealing with someone like that? He was flying out of the country. And now that shit ain't cool either. You're going to end up in prison. It's stupid, okay? So I'm going to make that clear. But just, I mean, all this other stuff with the weapon. I get my piece, yo, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, check this shit out. When you go to prison, you don't got a piece. So you're going to have to learn how to use these at some point. Quit being a bitch. Shit. I'll get my piece. And you get one chance to use that piece. And when that chance is up, your dumb ass is going to be in prison. And you know, you're going to get your ass whooped. Because you don't have that excuse. Shit. And you think, and some people think that's like the answer to everything. I was talking about if I'd had that event, you know, the amount of people I would have had that had pieces there that were also trained fighters that could dismantle 99% of the human population in probably about 15 seconds. I was hoping it would happen. I was hoping people would show up. And I was hoping somebody'd act up. Disrespect them in their house. Gangsters. These guys, some of them seem like dorks. They'll tie you up in a pretzel and break your bones in half. Seem like a dork. Fuck you up worse than polio. See, anyway, it's been a bit of a rant. If you liked it, press the like button. If not, well, you can eat shit. That's the end of it.